Hey guys, Dr. Mike Deuce at MTFUcoach.com. So quickly, one little quick story before we go into our topic tonight. I'm out shopping tonight and I go up to the counter and wearing my MTFU Army shirt, and the lady cashier says, "Hey, MTFU, that's a nice shirt. What does that mean?" So I told her, full disclosure, I said, "Man the F up." And she just turned her head and looked at me and looked down and didn't say anything else. So I get two reactions. I get, "Wow, that's really cool. How can I get a shirt?" Or I get, "How dare you leave this place now?" And I'm like, "Don't worry, man. I'm leaving." I don't know why I came in here. Hey, not everybody thinks the same. That's fine. And, look, if you want to fight, go to the Middle East. People, crazy bastards, everybody over there want to fight you. But in any event, listen, the video tonight, what I didn't tell you about the supplements I take, that's not really totally true. I don't really hold any information back. But look, the way I train in phases. I train seasonally. There's 4 seasons in a year. I train differently in each season. I need a little background before I explain the supplements here. And the body, if you do the same thing all the time, the body will laugh at your puny efforts to get it to change. It'll attenuate. It will no longer respond. So, look, I'm never happy. I'm generally content. Never overly, ebulliently happy with where I'm at physically. So I always think I can make a little bit of improvement. Not a lot. Not a lot's going to change at this juncture of my life, but I want to at least stay where I am and get little improvements, and they build up, and every year I'm a little better, and it's worked out so far. So I got to keep moving along. I got to keep prodding the body. I change things as I go. And I'm my own lab. I find out what works for me. So I describe all this tonight. You cherry pick. You take some out that works for you. You ask me some questions. You refute what I say because I'm wrong sometimes. There was that time, let me think. No, I'm only kidding. I'm wrong often, but I hopefully right more than I'm wrong. So this phase I'm in right now, if some of you who watch here, I'm peaking. Just missed my peak on my birthday, so I moved it over to Denise's birthday in November. This is when I get really, really lean, down to hopefully 7 or 8% body fat, keep my body weight up, hopefully high 180s, maybe even 190. And that's obviously not easy, but we always like to say, if you do it as easy, your life will be hard. So we don't want that. Work hard now, enjoy later. And later really kind of never comes, so you're always pursuing. And in any event, so what do I do? I train really hard right now. I train very intensely. My food is restricted. It's not as diverse. And doc, wait a minute, don't you train hard all year? I'm like, yeah, but right now there's less of me. I've lost probably maybe 12 pounds. And for my frame, that's a lot for my high in the year. And I might have gotten up to maybe 14%, which is not too good for me. And I'm getting into the single digits now. So look, there's less of me to withstand the affront that I lend to myself in the gym each day, the pounding that I give myself, the joints, the cartilages, the connective tissues, the bones, everything takes a beating, and I feel it. So yeah, I could do this for 3 or 4 months. It's kind of training. I'm training with Evan Centopani, and there's no forgiveness in those sessions. I like to think I train really hard alone, but when I'm with a top IFBB pro like Evan is, it's always harder. You're held accountable right there. It's just it's that objectivity that's lent to me, and there's a lot of utility there because I get a lot out of it. But still, if I were to try to do that all year, look, maybe if you're younger and gung-ho and all that stuff, but listen, after 40 plus years of doing this, my body wouldn't hold up. And I don't go into the gym to get injured. I go in to embellish, to fortify what I have and get a little bit ahead each time. So that being said, my food right now, I eat 6 different things, and they're put together in certain ways, 6 meals a day. And oh my God, Doc, how can you do that? It's not hard for me. Listen, I don't have any food addictions. I eat for fuel. We go out and have fun sometimes and eat whatever, but that's kind of rare. But I'm so used to doing this for so many years, and because the body does thrive on regularity, I like the result I get. I know when I plug myself into this, I'm going to get that result. But when I do this, there's probably less nutrients that I get from my food because there's less variety of food. and that's a problem. So I account for that in my supplementation at this period right now. I've described plenty of times what I do over the year. I take berberine, I take creatine monohydrate. I'm still taking that now. I'll cut that out soon because that holds water. Whey protein. I do take whey protein, but only not during the peaking phase, this phase right now, because Whole Foods will get you there. Whey protein during the year is okay. If you miss a meal, if you didn't prepare a meal, it's fine. It'll keep you going. It's a good protein supplement in addition to Whole Foods. But if you're trying to peak and get to your very best, nothing beats Whole Foods, in my experience. Again, find out what works for you. There's some guy probably eating cake every day. He's shredded, and who knows why. But these rules are almost absolute. I don't like absolutes because there's too many variables out there. But this is what works for me. So outside of those three, what do I add? I always take omega-3s. We've talked about this. I've been taking these since I was a kid. Overall, this is for decreased inflammation. And look, the injuries I've had in my life, I would say that the net result of me taking this my entire life, I would have never healed the way I did and as expediently as I did, relatively speaking, if I wasn't taking this on a regular basis. So especially now, remember, when you're offering resistance to your body, you're breaking tissues down. And hopefully they build up a little. That's inflammation. So you've got to overcome that as quickly as possible and get back into that anabolic state, positive nitrogen balance. This helps. Take it all the time. Okay? And that's Celsius Nutrition. My friend Igor. I like his stuff. I haven't tried most of it, but I like it. And most things I don't like. So what else? Oh, multivitamin. I only take this during the last phase. Doc, you don't take that all year? No, because my food is tight. My food is very, very expansive in the choices that I make during the year, and I pretty much think I probably cover all the bases. Look, when you look at labels of foods, packages, whatever, meats, rarely are you getting what is on the label. Maybe only because of how it was prepared, the nefarious nature of some of these companies, or the way you prepare your foods, or the way you figure things out. Or you may misinterpret what you need. You haven't found out what works for you. But in any event, I take this especially during the final phase because, again, my variety, there's such a paucity of it that this helps cover the bases. And the good thing about it is Garden of Life, great company. It's expensive. Maybe cut out the Venti Turbo Latte or whatever for $7 a day, and then you'll easily cover this. Because to me, this to me is the most important thing. Okay, it all starts with me, making me solid, and I can go enjoy whatever, piss money away. Although I don't do that, neither should you. And the good thing is it's in one pill. Now you do have those packets, the little multivitamin packets with 7 or 8 pills in there, and there's some good products like that. But listen, it's not like the 70s when I used to take 70 or 80 pills in the 1980s, 70s into the 90s, only because we had to. That's the way things were broken down. If you were getting the nutrients that you needed or you thought you needed. I just don't want to put that all into my body. I don't know if my digestive system can handle it. Much easier taking 1 pill versus 7 or 8 for me. So that's a very good product right there. Magnesium, for me, I'll sometimes take this out of this phase, but mostly the last phase. Very good for muscle contractility and also electrolyte balance. It'll help balance out potassium, sodium, potassium chloride. They're all very important in muscle contractility, also osmotic transport of certain elements. You're lacking some of that, could be bad news for the heart, but that's in extreme cases. I sweat very heavily, almost like I have some type of physical dyscrasia. I don't think it's that. So I really, really need this. And like I said, it also helps in muscle contractility. Very, very good supplement, especially for the 4th phase. And finally, vitamins D3 and K2. Good company, Solar Ray. Okay, Solar Ray. Okay, it's been around a long time. Highly graded company. And D3, K2, 5,000 milligrams of D3 and 50 micrograms of K2. Very good for muscle, leaning up the muscle. They've done studies on men with high levels of muscle. They happen to have high levels of D in them, and K2 for bone integrity, health, and strength. Because again, look, the older I get, even if I lived an innocuous lifestyle and just sat on a couch and only did the clicker my entire life, and that's all I did, I'm still subject to the pressures of the world. the atmosphere, whatever. And the body is going to break down slower, but even still, that's not how I live. I'm out there banging every day, doing everything I can. Denise tells me I don't even sleep well. I roll back and forth and grind my teeth, and fell out of the bed once too. How the hell do you do that? But listen, so I've got to keep this structure and function. I've got to keep the integrity, and I do everything I can. This is what works for me. Find out what works for you, but make sure your food is tight. Listen, we're not even having this conversation if your food is not tight. Kid comes up, final story, kid comes up to me in the gym and he tells me he's about 25% body fat. That's fine. And he was polite. So he came up to me and he was very, carried himself with the proper comportment. Wasn't like the typical what you get these days, people forcing themselves upon you and acting like you owe them information. So he told me he was taking 5 supplements, and how am I doing? He said. I go, then I told him, because he asked me, I says, you know, kid, if you're 25% body fat, you got to get your food straight, because it's not. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if he's eating for strength or he's not eating right. He's fat. And listen, when you're 20 years old, you should be like Carl Lewis. You should be shredded. You should be like those little kids stealing hubcaps, running with no shirt, you know, in the summer, shredded. White and black kids. I ain't saying anything, so stop that shit. But this kid, I told him, I said, you know, you're taking 5. All right, so what are they doing for you? He didn't know. What's your goal? Didn't really have one. Told him about something called potentiation. Potentiation is when you take 2 different elements. We won't say pills, we won't say drugs, we won't say pharma, we won't say supplements, but 2 elements. They're meant to do different things. Because they're not meant to be taken at the same time, they get together and work to create a different effect, and often a deleterious bad effect. So, you know, we didn't know anything as far as what this kid was doing. I really couldn't help him. I told him to, you know, get your food tight, and that's not what he wanted to hear, so that was it. I'll probably never see him again. He's, I don't know, probably one of the guys sending me hate mail now. That's okay. You know, thoughts like those, they keep me warm at night. So, in any event, your thoughts, questions, considerations, statements. That was kind of a long one. I hope you stay for it because it's good, impactful, important information. Write those things down here. Give me a thumbs up if you think it's warranted, and you have a great weekend. Thanks very much.